Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Chair Yoga and Meditation. We kind of start with meditation, don't we? We do it both at the beginning and the end. The first part has to do with transition. We start by quieting the mind and changing gears from our morning's busyness or whatever time of the day when we need to come to this yoga practice, or we get to come to this yoga practice. So we settle in, and some of you are meeting as a group, so there's that factor of tuning out and bringing yourself into the space you occupy, your own space, and kind of letting the external uh, interactions lay put that to the side for now. Maybe that's true in your own household too. If you're doing that you're mindful that you're kind of claiming this time and space for yourself. And it takes a little change of a reset of your mind and of your awareness. So sit up nice and tall. We are going to start our movement practice in a standing position, just a heads up on that. But I'd like to just start our transition in seated. So I guess the reason I mentioned that is it's unless you want to put that block between your legs and begin all of that, I'll leave that up to you. I'll just leave that up to you about how you utilize that. Feet to the floor, that you feel that's a really good connecting point in terms of grounding. You do want to sort of balance yourself in your pelvis, right to left, that you feel like you're holding yourself well. There's something I've learned in my meditation, learning about meditation and learning how to practice it, about sitting versus lying down or other ways that people might consider a meditation practice. And that just has to do with the space around you, that you're sitting up nice and tall with nothing in your that's supporting your back, as a way of just sort of feeling, it's like you root and grow through the spine, and that there's this opportunity for all of this space around you to contribute to your experience. So if that appeals to you to sort of draw that up and be aware of that, please use that. Our eyes are closed, and we're going to begin with the breath that just is very mindful of the ascension of the inhale and the descension of the exhale. So however you want to start it, I'll give you a place to begin. If this works better for you, just to let me help you start it out. That you start with the pelvis as you start your breath, inhaling all the way up, ascending through the body and descending down through the body, front side, back side, however you envision that, back to the pelvis. Inhaling ascends, exhaling descends. And now, how you're breathing. Is it in through the nose and out through the mouth? Just notice what showed up for you. How did you just begin this practice without any prompts from me? You were just breathing in the way that showed up for you. And I think you can trust that. That's the breath you'll probably want to go with. However it is, you can't do it wrong. Remember, you're just allowing yourself and respecting the needs of your body and your nervous system, that you need to transition, that it's just a kindness and a generosity that you're offering yourself to kind of ease your way into participation in a more mindful and participative way, because you've taken this time. You've acknowledged that you need a little time to adjust. Now, staying with that same idea, if you're interested in just changing it up a bit, start that inhale from the soles of the feet all the way up to the crown of the head as it ascends, and the exhale descends. So you're just aware from your intention and not in your imagination that that's the flow of the breath for you, ascending through as you inhale and descending through the body as you exhale. So a little more full body experience we've just invited in. Beautiful. Just briefly, I'm going to ask you to plug one nostril and then breathe in and out through the open nostril. So what does it matter to me? You plug one nostril, however you do it, and breathe in and out through the open nostril. Just start breathing in that way, single nostril breathing. And whatever nostril you're breathing in and out of, you're aware that it's like you're trying to become, including the lung and that whole side of your body as part of your breathing mechanism and your awareness of that breathing mechanism. Now take a pause by breathing naturally through both nostrils and then set it up so that you can breathe through the other side. So you plug the new side and begin inhaling and exhaling through one nostril. And now you shifted to a new lung, a new side of the body. And we don't even have to what's that mean now? Or what's that? It doesn't matter. It's just that you're kind of just honoring your body. I'm just going to honor the right side of my lung, and then I'm going to honor the left side of my lung. And, however it is you approach it, again, you can't do it wrong. You come with this intention of transitioning and trying to be very thorough about how you appreciate your body and particularly this breath. Beautiful. And then just breathe naturally. So you're no longer plugging a nostril. You're just breathing naturally. Open your eyes briefly and let's find this unity mudra. This is just where your thumbs and fingers, but you're not closing them in like the prayer position. You're keeping them extended. This is usually held at what's called the solar plexus. So it's just right where the ribs come together in that little peak. You kind of hold it right there, this unity mudra. This is connecting right side and left side, intentionally unifying the body. Let's use that mudra and that intention of unification as we inquire within to set our particular intention for class today. What do you need from yoga? And so you're just, noticing how your week was and how you're feeling and what's going on with you personally and in your family. What do I need? This is about you and it's for you. It's for you so that you can reap the benefits of this practice so that you can feel better, feel calmer, feel stronger, feel more balanced. And so it is. Let's sync up our breath, inhaling both hands together up and overhead. Exhale, we bow to our own heart. Inhale up and exhale down and around. All right. As promised, we're going to start our movement in the standing position. We are going to use the cloth in our standing position, just FYI. So I want to begin with our block in our hands. So we're going to just start, finding the rhythm of movement as we move our body weight from one leg to the other, one side of the body to the other. You're shifting into this side. So just being mindful, we're still kind of working with how we're unifying and honoring both sides of the body. And then I've used the block as a way of just sort of coordinating movement with our arms. So you're just shifting your weight. What could, and I'm going to say should, naturally arise when you're shifting your weight like this is that as you're pulling away from one side, that heel pops up. You come back and you pull away, that heel would pop up. That would be sort of the way your body is trained to do to protect the joints. So get as big as you want to with this movement. And include maybe the turn of the head, and include maybe that both hands are always on the block. Instead of handing off, you think, well, what about that? Finding a rhythm of breath that suits this. Nice. Now let's hand off. We've done this before where we just circle that block around us and we're just handing it off. Try to keep your arms about at chest height, at least that high, not so low around your hips. Let's see if we can utilize the strength of our arms a little bit more by bringing it up at least chest height. And then switch the direction of your hand off, just as a way to keep our coordination primed, that we're want to make sure we stay and feel like we can be very coordinated with our movements and not, we don't find that off-putting. And then let's just hold the block behind you, just holding that block behind you, and open up your chest. Let's soften the knees quite a bit. And we can use this as a little way to open the heart / back bend. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe let's add our breath that we're ascending or aware of the ascension of the inhale and the descension of the exhale. We won't be here much longer. Find that breath ascending and descending. Nice job. You can set that block aside. Let's do some climbing now where you're just reaching up, looking up as well. The distance between your feet is up to you, how you're holding yourself, how you're supporting the kind of the foundation that you've created. Don't go too wide with your legs, but then again, don't get them too close together. So it feels like you've got a nice supportive foundation as you start climbing. Stretching one side, stretching the other side, looking up. And then let's finish it up with that wave action, where we just lift up and act like we're going to sit down, but we don't. And we lift it up. Full breath in, full breath goes out. Your pace, not mine. You're just following the pace of your breathing. I want to meet now in the chair position. That means that squat, like you were almost going to sit in the chair. I'm turning, you don't need to. So you've got your knees bent and you're kind of hovering above the chair. That's what it feels like. This is called the chair pose. And we can hold our hands on our thighs. So we've got a bracket of support for that. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel how much is strengthening and asking your legs to hold you. So you might feel some warmth showing up in your legs. All the way up. Inhale together. Exhale at the heart. Up and all the way down and around. Good. Let's come into all fours position, I call it. All fours. So that means you're going to be standing near your chair seat so that the chair's back is to the side. In other words, you'll have the use of the whole space here. And so you're close enough to the chair that your shoulders are right above your wrists and hands. That's the tabletop. I guess I probably called it that more often. Tabletop. So let's squat though, like we did when in our chair pose. Let's add a little squat to that. And the hand that's near the backrest, that hand is going to lift up to the ceiling. And then I want you to kind of sweep it underneath your arm. That's called thread the needle. And it's done in just some movement of lifting up and then stretching it through. So you can feel the little twisting action going on. It's a nice opener for the shoulder. Inhaling up. Exhale, thread the needle. A couple more. Let's come back with our both hands on the chair and then bring yourself up nice and easy. Let's take a pause. Find your mountain pose. Breathe in, breathe out. Watch how your body will start making its adjustments. Feel like you're all caught up with the breath. Maybe you're moving. That would be great. Maybe your reset includes a lot more movement than what you see me do. And then we come back into that position. So I didn't even move. I didn't move my feet at all. And let's see if we can do our cow and cat here. So we're going to extend that spine, lift your chest, and you feel the tilt of your pelvis, and then rounding through the back body, tuck, tuck, tuck the pelvis into the cat pose. So we can do inhale, cow, exhale, cat. My knees are pretty much the same on both, but you might find that you sort of straighten them out, at one part of this or the other. Keep going, keep breathing. Make sure you're really noticing the breath. That's so key. This is a vinyasa. It's just completely reliant on that breath connection. Finish it up, and let's meet in the cow pose. And then see if you can release your hands from the chair seat, and instead they're on your thighs, not your knees, but they're right on your thighs. So one hand at a time came to your thighs. You've heard me say that a lot of times. And then let's gently come up. So we straighten out the legs and lift up. Just reach up, simply reaching up like a full body stretch. Let the body do its adjustment, catching up with the breathing. And all the while, you're still kind of stretching, you're still active. And then release that all the way down. We need to be on the other side of the chair now so that we can do the thread the needle. So we need to have our hands, the other hand near the backrest. So that we have a little bend of the knees, kind of squatty. And we lift up that other hand up and thread the needle between our hand and leg. Stay with your breathing and the awareness of it. Completing both the inhale and the exhale, because you need them both. Last time. Back to your all fours position. Let's stand up. Take a breath. Take a little, break in between. And back to the cow and the cat. Inhaling and exhaling. So you feel the tilt of your pelvis and the tuck. For those of you who are, well trained, you probably are doing that little lift for the perineum's sake. You can do it right here. You can do it when you're doing your exhale. Last time. We're going to meet in the cow pose. So you've got that tuck, that tilted pelvis, and then jump your hands to your thighs and all the way up. Inhale, exhale, bow, inhale up, exhale down and around. Let's get our cloth now for what's called pyramid pose. So you're going to start with left foot forward, right foot back. Not a very big step, but both legs are straight. And all 10 toes are pointing towards your chair. So we want as much cloth, as much towel as we can get. So because the left leg is forward, that means the right arm is going to start this process by dropping and bending the elbow and dropping that cloth. So just kind of practice that so you know you're not ducking. And then drop it down, elbow is up, other hand grabs hold. We kind of wrap it around behind us and start walking our hands toward each other a little bit. And when both legs stay straight and you're just taking a forward fold, like you're trying to create a flat back that's just parallel to the chair seat. What I was playing with earlier was, because of my particular chair and it's the height of the backrest, you could fold forward and I could rest my elbow right on that backrest, which felt like that's kind of nice support. So you might explore something like that. So if this is real easy for you, this invites for you, without question, a deeper fold, that you're bringing that top elbow closer to the chair seat. You know, that's how you're adjusting this for your use, for your body. Now let's release the hold of our cloth. Get our hands back on the chair seat. Keep your legs just as they are and just create a flat back. Pull your chin in towards your throat and kind of pull back through the pelvis. It's not a dramatic movement in your body, but you can feel it on a deep level, deep within. You can feel how, as you sort of pull the pelvis back, pull the buttocks back, you can feel that. So right here, let's step that front foot back, start walking back, and create your downward facing dog. Remember, the distance between your hands should match the distance you have between your feet. And you're going to rely on the wisdom of your breathing to help you know how far you can go with this, how deep you might be able to stretch. Keep your chin sort of tucked in, so you're not trying to look at your hands, you're not looking out at the chair. You're holding your head in a much more neutral position that's supportive of the weight of your head. Let's start walking toward the chair. And then bending the knees and kind of rounding the back body, we can come up one vertebrae at a time. I'm sitting here pausing because I'm trying to remember which leg goes forward. I think it's right leg forward. Left foot back? Is that so? Be sure you switch. Be sure you have switched. I think it's the other way. I don't know. I totally don't know. I hate that. So switch so you've got your other foot forward, and it always, the cloth goes in the opposite leg. So the leg that's forward, it'd be the opposite arm that's reaching up. We're going to practice that a little bit. No bending, trying to duck our head. And then get a hold of the cloth that you can walk both hands toward each other. Essentially, all 10 toes are pointing in the same direction. And remember, the distance between your feet, how much space you took in that step, is entirely up to you, and that still could be adjusted. So we start to draw ourselves forward, tucking the chin. Try not to let your chin lead the way. And you might just pause where you feel like you are now parallel to the floor, that your back, the back body has become parallel to the floor. So you've hinged at your hip, creating this fold. That pyramid it's called powerful pose a lot of times because of the deep stretch into those legs, especially that front leg. Yeah, this is the second side. Now I'm remembering, because I know where I am in relationship to the backrest. Yay. So you're deciding how deeply you fold as you breathe, and your breathing is informing you. Let's release our contact to the cloth. I'm going to just drop it away. Hands are on the chair seat, and now we're going to just once again formulate that posture where our back body is nice and strong and long and more or less parallel to the floor. Stretch through the buttocks. pulling back. And then we can come right away into our downward facing dog. Kind of bend your knee a little bit, stepping back, and create your down dog. One more good breath. Start walking toward the chair. Bend your knees and then just come up nice and slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Back to standing, back to mountain pose. Deepen the breath. We're going to come in. I think I skipped it, so I want to catch it. This is the chair pose. So we're in that squatty position. This time, see if you can bring your legs closer together, almost like creating a mermaid leg. That's a challenge, a balance challenge. So if you want to skip that or make that, that's an adjustment you make. I'm just offering that as one way to challenge yourself is bring them together, and one way to kind of maintain the stability you're looking for. Maybe you've got a little more space. Hands are coming to the prayer position here. See if you can cross over so you bring your elbow to your knee or outside of the thigh. Remember, you've got the chair right here. You could use it any way you want. Back to center. We got to twist the other way. Keep breathing. And back to center and all the way up. Let's take a pause. If you can do it with your pause, you still have your legs together, maintain that. Smooth out the breath. All right, it's time to sit. Yay, right? We're coming into our seated posture now. So we'll take that block and use it between our legs. We're forward on the chair. So we have the ability to move around, and we're not, we've got that space around us that we're trying to maintain. Palms up on your lap. Just give yourself a breath or two here. So again, we've used this mudra of receptivity with hands open as a way to receive. And that may be the way it feels to you right now, and that's how you're utilizing that gesture. But it's also a gesture that could very easily be translated as a release, a letting go. What are you letting out? So however that suits you today. Beautiful. All right, let's get some arm movement, hard lifting up and down. So we're trying to explore the full range of movement through our shoulders. So you're coming up all the way as far up and back as you can go, and all the way down and back as you can go, finding a rhythm that matches up. The rhythm of the movement matches up with the rhythm of your breathing. Inhale, ascending, exhale, descending. Ascend the inhale, descend the exhale. Let's do it one at a time. Doesn't matter to me which. I just did a circle because it just kind of showed up. I'm going to kind of insert that. For me, I'm just going to insert a circular movement every once in a while. You could stick with just up and down, or you could add the circular movement, but one arm at a time. Keep breathing, just creating. You're just kind of paying attention to the rhythm in your body and what just seems to show up. Let's switch sides. Remember, I'm just kind of winging it. I'm just sort of creating as I go. You don't need to follow me exactly, not at all. Keep breathing and noticing that you are breathing. Both arms up, palms together overhead. Exhale, bow at your own heart. Inhale back up, and exhale, take that all the way down and around. Let's try a simple twist. So your legs are going to stay the same. You're balanced in your pelvis. You know you're situated there. We're just going to turn from to one side. Doesn't matter which side. We're trying to keep a verticality of your spine. So you're not going to lean. You're going to try to keep the verticality of spine, and that it's just like your whole chest cavity revolves around the spine in its vertical position. And you can use your hands to support you, holding onto the chair or some body part. But let's stop where there's a stop sign. Don't immediately think you've got to push through that. Let's stop where we feel our body has naturally found its limit, and we're going to be good with that as we just work toward the lengthening of the spine and the experience that we're feeling. Sure, if it starts loosening up and it feels really good to you to come deeper into that twist because your body has just opened up so nicely, then you'll want to approach that. But let's just give ourselves permission to meet ourselves right where we are, and we'll take it from there. We're not going to demand anything from our body that it really is not willing to give. Keep your body in the twist that you made and just turn your head out of it. And keep your body in this twist. And now you know how our head was going as far to that side as it could. Let's see about dropping our chin toward our chest, toward that shoulder now, the opposite shoulder, and feeling that. Now, for me, this whole side of the body, not the side I'm turning my head toward, but the other side of my body has lengthened a little bit. So I'm trying to breathe in and out of that length. Now we'll unwind from the twist. Let's do some shoulder rolls or any movements your body needs to reset, including the turn of the head. That could very well be part of what needs to reset. So our foundation is laid. We've got that all in place. Let's take our new twist. We're going to stop where we find that red light. The stop sign is there. Keep a verticality of your spine. So maybe the way you notice that is, are you leaning into one butt cheek over than the other, more so than the other? So that's a real red flag that tells you, yeah, you're kind of leaning. So you're going to want to see if you can level up so you're more balanced in the pelvis, which will create a more stable environment for that lengthened upright spine. Deepen the breath and start to notice if a green light shows up, then you're going to take it. But if you're just as content as you can be right here, right now, that's great. Meeting yourself where you are. Full breath in and a full breath out. Let's keep the body in the twist, and we're going to turn our head to come out of that twist. Once you feel situated with that, dropping your chin towards your chest and leaning that chin over toward that new shoulder now. And see if you can feel the length you've created on that side body. So we've been switching right side, left side awareness kind of throughout the practice today. Beautiful. Let's start to unwind from that. And we're going to lose the block, tuck it under so we can take a little wider stance. Heels are in, toes are out. As wide a stance as you feel comfortable doing. A right angle with your legs. So those knees are bent and you're not going to get your feet too far away from you. They're going to be right underneath. Your ankles are right underneath where your knee joint is. Let's start with this movement of the pelvis as we start doing our little hula hoop movement with the pelvis. And then that movement is going to translate into a more full body experience that we're going to create as a vinyasa. Inhale forward, exhale, swirl yourself back, inhale forward, exhale back. Can you see the cat cow resemblance here? So there's kind of an arch of the back, and then you tuck the tail when you're coming back into the exhalation. And then we just keep loosening up. All right, let's just pause. We're going to change the direction of that. So once you kind of get the hang of the movement, go back to the vinyasa. Inhale forward into the cow and exhale back into the cat. So that's kind of the movement of the spine. It's the movement of the pelvis to some extent. It's a nice full breath. So don't let pace like, oh, I'm trying to keep up. It's all about keeping your movement and your breath connected. That's what it's all about. Beautiful. Let's open and close now. Take a big wide stance with your arms way back. Chest is open, 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 open. Close it up again, rounding through the back body. So let's get some movement there. Big wide eagle spread. Eagle wings, I should say. Maybe we're just opening and closing, opening and closing. Last time. Now we're going to just land our fingertips at our shoulders so that we can dip down to a twist. So if you knew now at this juncture, you need to get your legs a little closer together to make this more accessible, there's an adjustment you would want to make. So this one too, I've been trying to draw attention to the fact that sometimes we're folding and twisting at the same time. This is one of those. Same kind of pose, but instead of holding our arms like this, these little wings, see if you can go down. Maybe you move and get your block because that's where you'd rather touch. Different ways you could do it. I'm touching the floor. I can go down, fold down, and touch the floor right inside of my inner foot there, the inner part of the foot. You might even be able to bring your palm down. So you don't have to shortchange yourself into the depth of this. If you could palm it, do that. Let's take one more adjustment on this pose. Instead of inside of the foot, see if you can stretch to the pinky side of your foot. Can't get my palm down over there, but I can still do it. Keep up with your breath awareness. And back to a neutral position. Can you locate your cloth? It just occurred to me this would be a good thing to do here. So we can locate that again. Let's start moving that kind of quick pace where we just switch. Don't duck your head. You're just trying to really offer the benefit of this, the beauty of it, is the tremendous amount of flexibility and range that we've created for our shoulders by being able to do this movement. Finish it up. We're going to get hold of the cloth right out front. So you've got a nice length there. It's nice and tight. So it kind of keeps your arms engaged very strongly for a little tick-tock movement, side to side. But I want you to, now that you got the hang of that, explore different movement. Doesn't have to be just side. That's very linear. Let's get a more feminine movement. Linear is sort of, a masculine quality. And so let's get a little more of the feminine movement. So it's a little more circular, a little more creative that you're just exploring. You still hold that kind of firm grip. It's kind of keeping your arms in a particular place. They're not coming any closer together. They're staying in the very same spot in terms of their relationship with one another. And you're just exploring. Maybe you're taking it into a fold. You're just kind of getting curious about what could you do with this. How you're just playing. You're just playing with it and experiencing the movement. Open to receive all the new space in your body and the freedom and the kind of playfulness about this. All right, let's give it a release now. And let's shrug and release, shrug and release. And any other kind of movement your body seems to need. Bringing your feet more hips distance apart. Let's get into the figure four. So I want you to practice getting it up there without the use of your hands. But hey, I don't even know if I've ever said this, but I want to say it today for sure. What if the adjustment you need is to use your hands? You said, I'll get it up there, but I must use my hands. And of course, rather than skip it all together, just help yourself that way. Because what this is, we're going to switch to the other side. The reason that we do it, trying to do this hands free, is because it just generates a particular range of movement for our hip and our knee. It's a range of movement, a lateral kind of movement, but you might need to, you'd like to participate, you still would like to create that kind of stretch for the knee and the hip, but you got to help it. Switch again, other side. Get strong in the belly here. Let's not sag, keeping yourself kind of up. And then we're going to switch again. Again, so you could be using your hands, not a problem. Let's take that cross leg and just cross it over right at the center. Bind it if you like that, where you just kind of wrap your foot around behind your calf so that your legs are very bound together. That's one way to do it. And then we're going to crisscross our arms right at the elbow. And then we wrap or kind of bind the arms together. So it can just be that you figured out a way to get your fingers and your palm together, or you're just holding it in some way. So you bound that. Lift it, lift it, lift it, elbows up and down. This is called eagle pose. This is done as a balance, that you're not sitting in a chair, you're standing and doing this. So it's a very challenging balance pose, but it still is the same shape for us. Now, notice how you've got your arms crossed. So when we set it up for the other side, you'll know how to cross your arms the other way. So let's unwrap all that. Again, the wrapping is an option. You could just have legs crossed. And you're binding your arms together and maybe your hands, or maybe it's just that. Maybe the crisscross. Nope, but I can hold on, and that's pretty good. You bet it is. Lifting up and folding down. So elbows are drawing in toward your navel. Big breaths. You need big, strong breaths in and out. Last time. And we just sort of unravel from all that and unravel the legs. Take that wide angle. Let's go into our kind of movement through the pelvis as a reset. And then a forward fold, folding between your legs. Arms and shoulders drop between your legs. You got your eyes open and you're looking down and under you. Crown of your head reaching toward the floor. Big belly breath. So move your belly while you breathe on purpose. It's a breath practice. You're using a particular breath method here. pushing through the belly wall with your breathing. If that's suitable, if that's something you can do, do it. If an adjustment is needed, of course, you meet yourself right where you are. If you can get a hold of your block, mine's right under the chair, so I can easily get it. If you just let's get a hold of our block, and I've got it on its high side, and we're going to extend it away from us as far as we can and still feel that we're very well situated on the chair. Our bottom is completely supported, but we've extended ourselves away. I'm going to give this as a side angle so you can see the shape that you're ultimately creating. So lifting up your chest as much as you're able to do. Don't let your head do the work. The chest lifts you up, and then your head will follow along. But that's what starts it, is the lift of the chest or rib cage area. One hand stays there on the block, and the other hand wraps around, and we turn our head. So there's a little twist. So we turn toward in the direction of that arm that's wrapping around behind you. Situate it back to neutral and switch hands. So we twist the other way, wrapping it around behind us, turning, pulling that shoulder back. Breathing on this side of the body. Both hands back to the block. Let's jump them one hand at a time to our thighs. Squeeze your elbows into your waist. Meet me halfway up. So my feet were too far away. Got to get them situated so I've got more of a squatty action here. Let's spread those wings. Push into your legs. Push into your feet. Strong legs here. Strong back. Strong breath. Carry yourself up. Let your wings carry you up. Inhale. Exhale here at the heart. Up. And all the way down and around. We need two more of those, two more backstrokes. Inhaling up. Exhaling down and around. Right. If there's another stretch your body needs, this is where you'll want to insert that. But otherwise, we're setting up for Shavasana. So we're coming now into our rest and meditate time of practice. So start to, maybe get your drink of water. Use this as a real, breaking from one set to the other but maintaining your consciousness, that you're still kind of staying aware and you're not floating away and visiting with others, that you're just focusing still on your practice, but you're allowing your body to sort of reset and take care of business here. What do I need? How can I come into my meditation really well prepared? Before we kind of go off on our own, let's do one final breathing practice together. And that's just one we started with, and that is aware that our inhale ascends through the body and the exhale descends through the body. So you're aware of ascension and descension using your intention and your imagination. So where you feel that, what seems to be the image that you are conjuring up, entirely up to you. But it's a very felt experience of inhale seems to ascend in the body, and the exhale descends through the body. I've personally been trying to become more and more aware and weaving into my practice the awareness of the back body. Remember, we want softness in the face. Relax your jaw and your tongue, all the muscles around your eyes. So just a couple more breaths, really aware of the ascension of the inhale and the descension of the exhale. may stick with that if that's a really pleasant experience for you, or you can let that float away as you just allow yourself to a more refined, a more free flowing breath. It probably is going to be quieter. So you just, acknowledge how your body is just moving into this restful meditative state. And remember the word restful. If you're holding yourself in any way that seems like it's got action attached to it, it's active, just make the adjustment. Nope, that's not where we're at. We're resting now. We're encouraging just sort of the opposite. Just really resting the body as thoroughly as we can. I can always feel the rise and fall of my belly. And I do a particular meditation at times where that's my focal point is inhale, belly rise, exhale, belly falls. It's just something I use. There's a particular area of your body that you often hold stress. You know it right away. When I mention this, you're very aware. Go there. If it's possible that you could bring your hand and arms or however that you touch that, you pat it, you help calm it with that kind of loving awareness. And then you just invite a little more ease, a little more relaxation and rest into that part of the body. No judgment. We don't need to tell stories about all that. Just aware that that seems to be a place that needs our loving awareness more than ever. If your mind starts to wander, just go back to some mantra that we've used or that you've created. In and out, simple way to apply a mantra here. Inhale, you just say in. Exhale, you say out. Just coaching gently, lovingly, giving yourself a handle to hold on to so that you can maintain your breath awareness and your restfulness here. We're coming to a place that's got kind of a recipe of silence, space, and stillness. So the silence might be deep within, but it also could be in your environment if you have that. You're lucky enough to have a very quiet space. Otherwise, it's probably inside you. Silence, space, and stillness. We don't have to achieve it. We don't have to strive for it. We're just aware that that's what's showing up. And it's oh so sweet. Oh, so loving. Inhale deep. Exhale slow. Deep. slow. Let's use the words calm and ease. Inhale, calm. Exhale, ease. And see how those very words start to enter into your experience. Calm and ease. Beautiful, everybody. Let's rest our right hand at the center of the sternum, keeping your eyes closed. Let your left hand lay right on top of your right. And then let's offer the it's called metta, a blessing of loving kindness, often done 3 parts. We're going to do it in a single part. And it's going to be by the use of the word we. So for a moment, conjure up that this is a blessing for yourself and that you're holding that close to your heart and claim that beautiful, loving blessing. And then conjure up the people that come to your mind, people that are dear to you. And you don't have to worry, oh, what if I forget somebody? Just who came to your mind, holding them close to your heart for this moment. Because we're going to include everybody on the planet. This is a blessing that is, remember that unity mudra that we used? This is a unifying blessing. May we feel safe and protected. May we be happy and at peace. May our bodies be healthy and strong and heal itself over and over. And may we live with ease and joy. Can you feel the gratitude showing up, that all of a sudden there's just this wash of gratitude for your strong, healthy body, for the peacefulness of this moment, for the tenderness you feel for the people in your life, and for your willingness to share all of that with everyone, every being. Let's flutter the eyes open. Inhale with me, palms will be together overhead. Exhale, we bow at our own heart. Inhale back up. When we exhale, let's share this loving energy with our community. So maybe you're aware that you're sending it out, and there's people that come to mind that's going to be included in this extension of all of that peace, joy, and love. Hands come back to the prayer position. We bow to ourselves and we bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for joining me. Here we go.